Jack London, 1876–1916. Early life. Jack London was born as John Griffith Cheney on January 12, 1876, in San Francisco, California. His mother, Flora Wellman, was a music teacher and spiritualist. His father, William Cheney, was an astrologer who left the family before Jack was born. Flora later married John London, a Civil War veteran. John became Jack's stepfather and gave him his last name. Jack's family was very poor. They moved many times, looking for better opportunities. They finally settled in Oakland, California. Jack grew up in a working-class neighborhood where life was hard. Despite the difficulties, Jack had a strong will and loved to explore the world around him. He was curious and enjoyed learning new things. Early work and adventures. As a young boy, Jack worked hard to help his family. At the age of 13, he got a job at a cannery. The work was difficult and the hours were long. Jack dreamed of a better life and wanted adventure. At 15, Jack borrowed money to buy a small boat. He became an oyster pirate in San Francisco Bay. He caught oysters illegally and sold them for money. Later, he worked for the government as part of a patrol team to stop other oyster pirates. When Jack was 17, he joined a sealing ship that sailed to Japan. The voyage was dangerous and exciting. Jack saw new lands and met people from different cultures. This experience gave him many stories to tell and made him want to see more of the world. Education and writing. Jack loved to read. He spent hours in the public library learning about history, adventure, and the world. He read books by Charles Darwin, Karl Marx, and other great thinkers. These books inspired him to think deeply about life and society. In 1896, Jack decided to study at the University of California, Berkeley. He wanted to improve his writing and build a better future. However, he could only stay for one semester because he did not have enough money to continue. Even though he left school, Jack did not give up on his dream of becoming a writer. He wrote stories and sent them to magazines. Many of his stories were rejected, but Jack kept trying. He believed that one day he would succeed. The Klondike Gold Rush. In 1897, Jack heard about the Klondike Gold Rush in Canada. He joined thousands of people who traveled to the Yukon Territory to search for gold. Jack faced freezing temperatures, hunger, and hard work. He did not find much gold, but he found inspiration. Jack met miners, adventurers, and native people who shared their stories with him. He saw how nature could be both beautiful and deadly. These experiences stayed with him and became the background for many of his famous stories. When Jack returned to California, he decided to write seriously. He used his time in the Klondike to create exciting stories about survival and adventure. First success. Jack's hard work as a writer finally paid off. His first book, The Son of the Wolf, was published in 1900. It was a collection of short stories about life in the Yukon. The book received positive reviews, and people admired Jack's ability to bring the wilderness to life. In 1903, Jack published The Call of the Wild, one of his most famous books. The novel tells the story of Buck, a dog who is taken from his comfortable home and learns to survive in the wild. Readers loved the story for its excitement and its connection to nature. This book made Jack London an international success. Family and relationships. In 1900, Jack married Elizabeth Bessie Mattern. They had 2 daughters, Joan and Becky. Jack loved his children, but his marriage to Bessie was not happy. Bessie wanted a quiet and simple life, but Jack wanted adventure. They divorced in 1904. In 1905, Jack married Charmian Kittredge. Charmian was not only his wife, but also his partner and inspiration. She supported his writing and joined him on many of his travels. They shared a deep bond and spent much of their time exploring the world together. Political beliefs. Jack grew up in poverty, which made him think deeply about social problems. He believed that the world was unfair and that workers deserved better lives. In 1896, he joined the Socialist Labor Party and later became a member of the Socialist Party of America. Jack gave speeches and wrote essays about the struggles of workers. He believed that people should help each other and work together to make a better society. His novel, The Iron Heel, 1908, talks about a future where workers fight against oppression. Although Jack supported socialism, he also believed in individualism and hard work. He often struggled to balance these ideas in his life and writing. Life on the Ranch. In 1905, Jack bought a large ranch in Glen Ellen, California. He called it Beauty Ranch. Jack dreamed of creating a perfect farm where people and nature could live in harmony. He tried new farming methods and wanted to show others how to farm better. Jack loved his ranch and spent much of his time there. He wrote many of his books while living on the ranch. However, his farming projects were expensive, and he often had financial problems. Despite the challenges, Jack found peace in the natural beauty of his land. Later works and legacy. Jack London was a very productive writer. During his life, he wrote more than 50 books, including novels, short stories, and essays. Some of his most famous works include White Fang, 1906, which tells the story of a wolf dog, and Martin Eden, 1909, a novel about a young writer's struggle to succeed. Jack's books were popular because they combined adventure, human emotion, and a love of nature. His writing was simple but powerful, and his stories spoke to readers around the world. Health problems and death. Jack London worked very hard throughout his life, but his lifestyle was not healthy. He suffered from kidney disease, chronic pain, and other illnesses. He also struggled with depression and drank heavily. On November 22, 1916, Jack London died at his ranch in Glen Ellen. He was only 40 years old. Some people believe he died from kidney failure, while others think his death was related to an overdose of medicine. Jack London's legacy. Jack London's life was full of adventure and creativity. He rose from poverty to become one of the most famous writers of his time. His stories about survival, courage, and nature continue to inspire readers today. Jack once said, "I would rather be ashes than dust." This phrase reflects his passion for life and his belief in living boldly.